Boris Johnson's negotiating team has been urged to hold its nerve as Brexit talks to decide the country's future relationship with the EU enter a crunch week. The UK and the EU are under intense pressure to agree a trade deal, but Downing Street insists there will be no backsliding on Brexit. Number 10 was rocked last week by the departure of chief advisor and vote leave maestro Dominic Cummings, which prompted Brexit Party leader Nigel Farage to warn that a sellout is close. He said, "The Leavers are leaving Downing Street," but prominent Brexiteer Andrew Bridgen said Mr. Cummings could safely leave the stage because Britain is now out of the EU. He said, "When the dragon is slain, you don't need a dragonslayer anymore." Tories hope Mr. Johnson can put a tumultuous week behind him and the country will see the return of a full bouncing Boris. Frustration had bubbled in Tory ranks about a series of public relations disasters in the weeks leading up to the sudden exit of Mr. Cummings and Director of Communications Lee Kane. The UK and EU will hold talks this week in Brussels ahead of a meeting of European leaders on Thursday. Even if a draft deal can be nailed down, it will be a race against the clock to get it ratified by the member states before the Brexit transition period finishes at the end of the year. Downing Street sources say it is ridiculous to link Mr. Cummings's exit with the Brexit talks led by David Frost, and leading Tories insist Britain is in a strong position. They argue a major deal can be done but that the country can still prosper if it has to rely on World Trade Organization terms. Former Security Minister Sir John Hayes said, "Of course it's true that coming to an agreement is going to be challenging for all concerned and painful for those in Europe that are still wedded to the fading prospect of federalism, which they see as a dream and we see as a nightmare. But I still think there's a chance that common sense may prevail. Of course, if a deal can't be done on terms that are acceptable to Britain, then we must face up to that. There must be no compromise of our core principles and there must be no toning down of our red lines. Our red lines must not be made pink." Brexit Party Chairman Richard Tice urged Mr. Johnson to be ready to walk away from the negotiating table. He said, "Boris must stand strong against the EU this week. No deal is always better than a bad deal. If he caves, he is finished. If he holds firm, he can survive. It is as simple as that. He must not take the British people for fools." North West Leicestershire MP Mr. Bridgen said the EU was frightened at the prospect of a free-trading UK on its doorstep and Britain must not be pressured into signing up to a damaging treaty.